sintiendo, estás vibrando el íntimo e interactivo Match Music. Es un lujo tenerlo con nosotros, momento de charlar con Keane. Welcome to Argentina and to Match Music, Richard, Tim and Tom. I'm very happy to have you here.
We're extremely happy to be here. Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
We're very well. We can't hear much because our fans in Argentina must be the loudest fans in the entire world.
And first of all, I want to ask you about our country. What do you know about us, about Argentina, I mean?
I went to see a statue of a very famous Formula One racing driver earlier, Fangio. You know Fangio? I know him. He's cool. Went to see a statue today. No one else has heard of him. You should look him up. He's a genius.
And what does it mean to you to come here to South America? I mean, in your career.
Well, it's something we've been promising our fans for a very long time. Because of the power of the internet, we know that we have so many fans in this part of the world. And so people keep writing into the website saying, when are you coming to Argentina or Chile or Brazil, you know, and we've said for like 3 years that we're going to come, and we keep saying it, and we still haven't come. So to be here finally means a huge amount to us. It's a complete dream come true for us.
I hope you have a great time here in Argentina.
I'm sure we will.
Let's talk about your history. In your beginnings, you were first called the Lotus Eaters.
Correct.
Then Cherry King.
Cherry Keane, yeah.
And then just Keane. So yes. I want to know, I know that the name is related to a woman. What can you tell us about her?
Well, she just had, she was a woman that we all knew when we were children. One of the things about us as a band is that we grew up in the same area. Our families all knew each other, and we've known each other since we were probably about that high. And so music's always been a huge part of our lives. I think from a very early age we wanted to be in a band and to make music. And so, you know, that's one of our kind of enduring memories. And we obviously shared a lot of things as children, and one of the things that we knew when we were kids was this old lady called Cherry Keane. And she was just this strange old lady. She's been dead for years, but she had this magical name and this magical kind of spirit about her. She was extremely positive and enthusiastic and always encouraged us to make music and to kind of follow our dreams. So when it came to naming the band, we just thought Cherry Keane had this kind of magical quality to it. So it just stuck.
In 2001, your guitarist left a band, but far from weakening the band, this situation made your music stronger. How did you find the new sound of Keane?
It made our sound weaker for a while because we had 3 of us on a stage or trying to write songs, and there's this big gap where there should have been a guitar. And so we had to find a way of filling that gap, of trying to use what we had as a 3-piece. And so Tim bought one of these pianos here, this exact type of piano, which you can plug into an amp and you can make it like a guitar. You can electrify the sound of it. So that suddenly changed the whole dynamic of what we were as a band. Tim started playing the piano. You know, I just got rid of my acoustic guitar and wanted just to sing and be out the front. And also we just had this great new set of songs around that time. Most of the songs from Hopes and Fears were written around the time that the guitarist left. And so we had these new songs and this new way of playing, and suddenly just everything changed for us as a band.
And you're not a typical rock band since you don't have a guitar player, but Tim, I know that you once defined yourself as a pianist very influenced by the sound of the guitar. Besides, you have experimented a lot with the piano in a very innovative way. How you achieved that?
Yeah, I mean, as Tom was saying, you know, we found that once we started using the piano, it really kind of brought our songs to life. And I think, especially with Under the Iron Sea, the second album, you know, we really thought, well, we could just take this on and on. You know, we've got this whole world of possibilities. So, yeah, you know, I was just experimenting a lot with trying to get kind of crazy sounds out of the piano, and also, you know, really more kind of powerful and expressive sounds that would really highlight the emotions of the song. So, you know, it's turned out to be something that has really kind of set us aside from other bands.
And guys, how do you see the present musical scene in England? What's your opinion?
I think there are loads of great bands around. I mean, it's not just in the UK, but I mean, you know, you look at the Arctic Monkeys or Amy Winehouse, you know, huge sort of successful artists from the UK that are doing really well. And I don't know, I was listening to a record by a guy called Get Kate, Where Kate Fly earlier today, and it's amazing. It's a really great record, and these really diverse styles of music. So there's a lot of creativity in the UK at the moment.
And talking about the musical scene in England, I know, Tom, that you had the chance to meet no other than Paul McCartney in a very unusual way. How was that encounter?
It was the strangest encounter of my entire life. I live in a very small town in the south of England, and I was walking along the street, and it was Christmas Eve, and this guy came out of one of the shops, and I bumped straight into him. And I was like, sorry. And then I looked up and I realised that it was Paul McCartney. And so I got chatting to him. It was not long after Hopes and Fears had come out. And I told him about our band and our music. And he went straight down the road and bought a copy of Hopes and Fears from the local shop. And then the next time we saw him was at Live 8, and he was at the side of stage singing all the songs from Hopes and Fears.
Wow, it's a dream come true.
It was a dream come true. That is the stuff of dreams. The Beatles are heroes for us and for so many people, and changed the way that music has been made in the last 30 years. So it was a huge honour to meet him, and then to discover that he was a fan of our band was just a brilliant feeling.
You said that your last record, Under the Iron Sea, you did it because you wanted to feel alive again. And I want to know when and why had you lost that feeling?
Well, I think it happens to a lot of bands. I think the strange thing about being in a band is, especially the way it happened for us, is you go from nothing to being very successful very quickly, and you have to learn to deal with that, and you keep going up and up and up, and it's this incredible ride, and then suddenly you reach the top, and you realise you're going a bit kind of crazy. And we toured the world, and I think we went on too long. We just did too much, and we kind of lost touch with our friendship and lost touch with our music and the things that made us feel alive, you know. And I think that making the second album was about getting back in touch with that, writing songs about those experiences and those feelings, and making new music again, creating again. We hadn't done that for like 3 years, so it was a very important record for us to make, and I think it saved us as a band.